Hey guys, it's Taku. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. Today I wanted to do something a little bit different. We're not going to unbox anything or haul anything or kind of just talk broadly about something. We are going to instead kind of give an inside look, I guess, at the Blackpink Light Up the Sky film produced by Netflix and YG Entertainment and directed by Caroline Suh. The film just came out the other day, October 14th, I think, and it has a runtime of about 1 hour and 19 minutes. I haven't watched anyone else's reviews or thoughts about the film, so I'm just gonna kind of dive in head first and just share whatever I thought about it. So this is probably going to be really rambly, but I hope you find something in it that is either insightful or informative or just fun to watch. So yes, the film, what is it about? This is a sort of biographical film. It's probably more autobiographical since it weaves in interviews with the girls from 2019 and 2020, along with footage from a lot of their trainee days, and it builds up from their early origins as children all the way to the big Coachella performance in 2019. Now, a lot of you guys may remember this Coachella performance. I mean, it was a landmark, obviously, for the girls, but also Coachella kind of gets a lot more global news than maybe some of their concerts and tours. So yes, Blackpink was at Coachella in 2019, and that's kind of what really promoted, I think, the production of this documentary. Caroline Suh and her team sort of start the story at Coachella. That's where the film opens, and then it takes us all the way back to their childhood, slowly, members one by one. And I think it started with Jennie and then went into Lisa and then Jisoo and finally Rose. I think one of the most interesting parts of this film right off the bat is the way that the transitions are, like, they pull from the Blackpink albums. So you may have Boom Baya, you know, like as they introduce one of the members and then it fades out, and then maybe Stay plays, or Forever Young. And I just think that was really cool of them. I mean, of course, YG is in on this, so they can use all of that music. But as a fellow Blink, it was just nice to hear Blackpink's own discography in their documentary, and it's cool because you can see sort of how they transition from their first album, Square Up, all the way until now with the album, because the end, I don't want to spoil anything, but they do leave you on a little bit of a teaser for the new album that I just thought was perfect. I loved it. They are sitting in the diner reflecting on the Coachella performance and on their life and where they want to go, just kind of casually. And yeah, I don't want to spoil anything. Go watch it. It's so good. But yes, a second interesting point about the film is how it really gives an inside look into Blackpink's story, into their struggles. You know, there's so much more than, you know, bubbly girls or, you know, very strong women, because behind that was a lot of struggling to even debut. If you are unfamiliar, the debut process for a K-pop artist can be brutal, to be honest. I could never do it myself. You need a very strong will, you need a lot of talent, and honestly, you need a lot of luck. To this end, they do include interviews with Teddy Park, who is Blackpink's producer, always has been and probably always will be, because he's a great guy. He knows exactly what to look for in good music, but then also how to talk to Blackpink as people. They keep mentioning that their practice room, that their recording space is a sort of, you know, a sacred space. You can't make mistakes here, only ideas, and no one's gonna judge you in the practice room. And I really like that as a musician myself. I know what it's like to, you know, get into a recording studio, and it's, you know, nerve-wracking because, oh, there are a couple people listening to me on the outside of this wall. But as long as you can trust whoever is helping you, you know, mix or produce or record, when you can trust them the way that Blackpink trusts Teddy Park, I think that a lot of good things can happen, groundbreaking things can happen, in fact, as you see with the success of Blackpink now. But more on the trainee days real quick. This film by no means represents the entirety of Blackpink's experience as trainees over their years. Some were training from 4 to 5 or even 6 years. I can't remember exactly. But what we are getting is essentially thousands of hours condensed into just a 1 hour and basically an hour and a half film. And so that by no means covers sort of the breadth of maybe trauma or negative experiences that they went through, but it also probably doesn't include all of the positive experiences as well. And I think that's where a lot of the personal interviews interviews come from. Caroline Suh mentions in a separate interview that the girls had come in and recorded these personal interviews at the beginning of 2020, and so that they are pretty fresh. It was in February, I believe. So yeah, pretty fresh thoughts, but they are from Blackpink themselves. No one is making assumptions. In fact, Blackpink is pretty much the one telling the story. Each member talks about their own lives, and members will jump in and interject about their lives. They sort of do this documentary style thing where the girls will be watching their own concerts or watching their own footage sort of on a theater screen, and then the girls are sitting side by side in a movie theater, kind of just watching and giving their own comments on it. And I really like that sort of trope, I guess, in documentaries. I know anime uses it sometimes. And so yeah, it was just really awesome to see just how much Blackpink was actually sort of in control of this documentary. I hope that, you know, one day, if they haven't already, that they get to watch it and they do think that it reflects their experience as young idols to where they are now and where they are going. There's this constant mentioning of being stuck in the middle, what it feels like in the beginning when they didn't know what they wanted to do, even going into middle school or high school. And then once they were trainees, they didn't even know whether they would debut as a group. And I think that's so very stressful, and it's very cool that the film includes these interviews, includes these notes, includes these videos of their actual practices from their trainee days. And they mention how once a month the company president, company executives or something would come in and watch them perform. And, you know, all the time they would be sending home Jennie's friends, because she mentions that it was really hard to let go of the people that you meet as a trainee. And of course, when they look at the very end of the film, you know, where it is going, Blackpink constantly mentions that even though they have this huge album and that they were working on the next one, which is the album that we have now, they still feel like there's so much to do. There's lots to make, there's lots to explore. They want to travel, which I thought was so cute. But as they are trying to sort of navigate through this middle space in their lives, we see a lot of growth, we see a lot of resilience, a lot of strength, a lot of perseverance, and I think the film captures all of it beautifully. It captures it splendidly, and honestly, by the end of it, it's so inspiring to see. It just makes me want to go out and try the best at my own things, and I just love the film so much. Last thing I want to mention about the film is more so targeted at the industry itself. The more that we get inside looks into the K-pop industry, what makes it work, what makes it click, but also specifically those trainee days. Those are so critical. Every idol will mention that, you know, what was the most impactful part of their life, and they'll say it's the trainee days, not necessarily the fame or success that they have now. And the more that we look at it, the more that we break it down and sort of dissect it and show it to people, show them what it's like, what the struggles are, what the hardships are, how much of an endearing soul that you have to be when you're doing this kind of thing, that the more we sort of tease this apart and really look into it and focus on it, I think we can sort of break down or pull the walls, the barriers that are separating Korean K-pop music from the rest of the global pop sphere. There's a lot of stigma around K-pop, and you know, some of it is good, like, oh, they're big and successful, but some of it is also, you know, like not so great. People will be like, oh, K-pop. And if you are a K-pop fan, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But yes, the more I think that we interview, you know, the actual artists and sort of get them into these documentaries and share their stories, share their styles in a, you know, sort of professional format, the more that the world will sort of start to see how hard being a K-pop idol is, and it's not just getting up on the stage and dancing to loud techno music, that it is more than the flashy costumes, that it is certainly much more than the fluffy, perfect idol vision that all of these idols put on. Watching this film, the only thing I could think was how great this was, you know, for Blinks. If you're a fan of Blackpink, the film caters to a lot of the things that you'll love about them. It shows off all of the members' charms. It shows off, you know, their highs and their lows, but also kind of just their middle point. There's a part where they're just in their apartment and Jisoo and Jennie are just cooking candy, I think. And I thought it was hilarious. It was one of my favorite parts of the documentary. And I think the more that you have those down-to-earth moments, the more realistic it makes them. You know, these are real people. They're not just idols on a stage. But yes, the film is good for fans. It honors our love for them. But I think it also really serves as a fantastic place to start if you're new to K-pop, if you're new to Blackpink and you're kind of just new to this industry that sort of raises these global titans, and certainly if not titans, people that lift others up through the power of their character, their charisma, and their music. I do think it's important to remember that as much as Blackpink are, you know, these on-stage artists, that they are musicians in their own right, and that these musicians should be respected because they go through the creative process just like any musician would. So there is no reason to discount K-pop. There's no reason to discount Blackpink as artists, because they are working their butt off every single day in the studio to make hits that everyone will love. And guys, honestly, that's like musician goals. Alrighty guys, I think I have rambled enough about this film. I could go on and on and on, but honestly, go watch it for yourself. It's on Netflix. It came out again just a couple days ago on October 14th. So if you haven't seen it yet, definitely go check it out. It's fantastic. If you love the girls already, you're gonna love them even more. And if you don't know who Blackpink are before starting this video, by the end, I think you will have a clear vision of who they are as people. And if not, I hope it makes you curious to explore the group more, more about the members' personalities, more about their histories, and of course, go explore their discography. Speaking of, the album is out now. This is my signed copy of it by Lisa, but it definitely makes me want to go pick up the other Blackpink albums. I told myself I wasn't gonna buy the album in its special edition because the box was so big, but you know, after watching Blackpink Light Up the Sky, I might have to go do that. But that's gonna do it for me. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Please leave any of your thoughts on the film in the comment section. I would love to hear them. I love talking about Blackpink, but I also love talking about film and the art of film. And so yeah, definitely hit me up with your thoughts or your comments. For more of me, you can find me on Twitter at TalkingToAnimeCafe, and I run a blog of the same name that I will leave linked in the description below. You can also find me on Instagram at TalkingToAC if you feel so inclined. Thank you so much for watching this video. Go watch Blackpink Light Up the Sky, go stream the album and all of your favorites from Blackpink, and till next time.